I should make this video. I almost just accidentally killed my bearded dragon. So we've had 4 bearded dragons over the last, oh man, almost 10 years. Each one kind of died from like a weird reason. So like one, she was a little morph, and one of the kids, like a kid came over and was like looking at him, and she got woke up and she ran straight into the glass of her cage, super hard, and then just was being weird. And I put her in some water, and she was my favorite one, like my little red one. She was really tiny, only, I mean, like nose to the bottom of her tail, like full grown, 5, 6 inches, tiny bearded dragon. And she died from what the vet thinks was like a brain aneurysm or something, from hitting the wall. Then we had another one die who was, he actually had severe MBD. So when we first got him, we actually listened to PetMart. We didn't know that when they were sitting on top of each other that wasn't a good thing, and they shouldn't have been in the same cage when they were little, because we got them as hatchlings. And yeah, he was bright yellow, super pretty, but because that early development was so important, that his arms and stuff became like paddles. So he was special needs, and every single day I would pick him up and I would move him to his spot. He could paddle his way from his spot, like down the little ramp thing we made for him, into where he was kind of comfortable for the night. And then in the morning, I would come pick him up, put him back on his little spot, and he'd paddle around, and I'd bring him outside and stuff, because he just couldn't really move very much. He would eat and everything, and then just one day he was just gone. He's probably like 6 years old at that point. And then our other one is like a 2 foot long bearded dragon. He died from he got a mouth infection, and it was my own fault. I didn't notice it. His mouth, it was the top of his mouth, and the infection got so far into the like top of his head that I took him to the vet, spent like $500 on surgery and stuff for him, and he just didn't make it. I was cleaning it every day with iodine, hoping he would heal, and he just didn't make it. So that leads us to this. My bearded dragon, Troy, who was semi-rescue donation. He's always kind of been an asshole, but supposedly he's kind of an older dragon. And I was cleaning his cage out. Let's show us a cage. Nice and clean, right? And I gave him a bunch of roaches because he hasn't eaten in a couple days. And I was like, all right, I'll give you some bugs. The dude always eats his bugs. I mean, I give him good size, like hissing roaches, and because I breed them and sell them. So I'm like, I got tons of these really nice, juicy ones. And he'll usually eat one, tear it up, and swallow. Eat one, tear it up, and swallow. For years, he's done this. And I don't know what happened. He ate them, and he didn't swallow them, but he kept, I would wait a minute and give him another one, because I was feeding the leopard geckos. And he was making this really crazy looking, I'll show you. See his beard? See how black it is? It's still black because he's kind of recovering still. So he was super dark black, and then he just kept opening his mouth and kind of just flailing around. So after a minute, I was like flipping him over, and he got really cold, and I was freaking out a little bit. So I opened his mouth up, and I took some of one of my tongs, because in his throat, in his little pouch, because they have a pouch, in his little pouch, one of the roaches was twisted around. He didn't chew it, didn't break it down, and it was twisted like in a ball. And I pulled that out, and then there was another one that I pulled out. And by that time, he wasn't really breathing on his own. So I gave him fucking mouth to mouth. I didn't put my mouth on it, but I was holding his little mouth open and blowing as hard as I could. And then I got some hot water, warm water, and I put it in the cage inside of a little container. Yep. This wasn't very big. I couldn't find the container that I normally use if we're going to soak him. And I just put his little body in here. And luckily, he was reacting, because now he's breathing on his own. And I don't want to, I'd pick him up, but I don't want to, because I want him to warm up and kind of recover. All right, buddy. Yep. And yeah, I don't know. He freaked me out, man. 20 minutes trying to keep this thing alive. Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is be very careful about your bearded dragons. Feed them. I'll cut him up from now on. I used to when he was, when we first got him. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. I've never seen that happen before, where they actually were like choking. So, all right. Yep. Say bye, Troy. Bye, Troy. See you, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna look at you just for a second. Stressful.